Hello there, and welcome back to Writing from Scratch with me, Tom. On this episode, we're talking about something really important, which is choosing names for your characters and where to get those names from. Choosing a name for your character is something that many writers struggle with. It can be something that's really challenging because you want to find the right name that fits the right character. This is something that I myself have struggled with as well. So today, I want to take you through a few different ways that you can find the perfect name for your character. Using a familiar name to you is a great way to start. Simply take the name of a family member or friend, apply it to a character, and voila, you're done. It's simple, easy, and really accessible if you have lots of friends and family. It also means that you can conjure up an image of what that character might be like, and that can also help with the development process of your book. The only issue here is that it can limit what you can do with that character if you're worried about upsetting or offending that family member or friend. It also does limit the setting and the culture of the book that you're writing to. Another great trick is something that we've talked about before, which is going out and about. Now, I'm very fortunate that I live in an area that has lots of unique and characterful names. So simply going outside with my notebook and looking at homes, businesses, and locations, I can find lots of really interesting names that I could use for my characters. The only limitation with this again is that it is region locked. I can't apply some of the names from my hometown to characters from a different country or a different culture, for example. History is another great source for names. There are thousands of historical accounts for different names used through all different ages and different cultures, and this is especially useful for things like fantasy or historical fiction. The other useful thing is that you can use historical names on modern characters to really make them stand out. But of course, you just need to be careful that you're being sensitive about using certain names with certain cultures, as well as making sure that that name does fit in certain settings. Another thing that lots of authors like to do in order to make their characters stand out is to create their own names, or to alter existing names to make them more unique, such as Daenerys or Dumbledore. This is great and really exciting and can really make your character stand out from others. The only limitation here is that the more you do this, the more you might have to spend time thinking about languages and naming schemes, and if you're a garden writer, this might not be something that you want to spend a lot of time doing. As for multiple characters sharing the same name, most writers would advise against this. The reason is because you want to make clear distinctions for your reader so it's easier for them to follow the story. Of course, there are exceptions, most notably George R. R. Martin, who leans on historical precedent to say that many characters did have the same name and were distinguished based on craft or family. So it's possible, but it's difficult, so just keep that in mind. Ultimately, there are millions of names out there, so you have a huge pool on which you can draw, and at the end of the day, Google might just be your best friend. So take your time, choose carefully what name do you think is best for your character, but at the end of the day, don't stress about it, because ultimately you can change the name of the character to something more appropriate if you want to in the future. They're never set, so don't worry too much. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for joining me on Writing from Scratch, and good luck with finding some names for your characters. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the video with your friends, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.